So you want the real story on that Lucknow Super Giants versus Sunrisers Hyderabad game, the one from Monday, May 19th.
Yeah, without wading through all the noise, right?
Exactly. You're in the right place. This is the deep dive, and we're going to break down what actually mattered in this IPL clash and, what it means for the season overall.
Right. Our mission, really, is to pull out the key stuff from the reports we've seen, the live updates, the match summaries. We want to focus on, what the stakes were for LSG, who stepped up, and the bigger picture for the playoff race.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Coming into this one, Lucknow. Well, they were in a tight spot, a really tight spot. Their playoff chances basically depended on winning all 3 of their remaining games. Sunrisers, meanwhile, they were already out, just playing for pride, essentially.
But the big thing, the real killer, was that net run rate for LSG.
Oh, yeah. It was bad. Reports were saying it was so low that even winning all 3 might not cut it unless they were absolutely massive, dominant wins.
So the pressure was just sky high. You can imagine the team talk.
Definitely. That context is crucial, isn't it? Knowing they needed not just a win, but a huge win. It shapes everything.
It absolutely does. Influences every decision. So let's get to the basics first, the toss and the teams.
Right. SRH called correctly, Pat Cummins won the toss, and they decided to have a bowl first.
Makes sense. Try and put the pressure on straight away.
For LSG, the lineup had Rishabh Pant leading and keeping wicket. Nicholas Puran, Aiden Markram, Mitchell Marsh were in there, Ayush Badoni too, Digvesh Singh Rathi.
And the interesting one, the debut for William O'Rourke, the Kiwi seamer.
Yeah, replacing Mayank Yadav, who was injured. A big opportunity for O'Rourke.
And on the SRH side, Cummins captaining, obviously. Ishan Kishan with the gloves. Abhishek Sharma, Heinrich Klaassen, key figures.
And they had a debutant too, didn't they? Harsh Dubey.
That's the one. The left-arm spinner from Vidarbha, replacing an injured Smaran Ravichandran and Dubey.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that. Record-breaking, actually. Took 69 wickets in the Ranji Trophy, got him an India A call-up. So, a guy coming in with serious form and confidence, definitely one to watch.
Okay, so LSG needed runs, and lots of them. Put it to bat.
Yeah.
How did they start?
Pretty well, actually. The reports pointed to a really strong opening stand between Mitchell Marsh and Aiden Markram. SRH couldn't get that early breakthrough they would have wanted.
That's exactly the start LSG would have dreamed of, given the run rate situation.
Totally. The update showed them getting to 50 pretty quickly, inside the first 5 overs, I think. And they didn't stop there. They kicked on and got to 100 partnership as well.
Setting a serious platform.
Yeah.
And Marsh, he was the aggressor.
Oh, absolutely. He smashed his 8th IPL 50, got there in just 28 balls.
Wow, 28 balls. That's flying.
Yeah. The reports mentioned some powerful shots, pull shots finding the boundary. Even an edge went for 4 past the keeper. Apparently, he just looked in fantastic touch. Got to the 50 mark in the 8th over.
Incredible striking. What about Markram at the other end?
He played a really smart innings, held up his end, provided that stability, but wasn't just blocking either. He kept the scoreboard ticking. There was mention of a nice 6 he hit off the debutant, Dubey, in the 10th over.
So, complimenting Marsh perfectly.
Exactly. Making sure the pressure didn't all fall on one guy.
Wasn't there a bit of controversy around Marsh, though? A catch.
Ah, yes, you're right. End of the 9th over. Harshal Patel was the bowler. Marsh hit it low. Patel dived forward.
Looked close, didn't it?
Very close. They went upstairs, obviously. The third umpire looked at it from all angles. Did it bounce just before he got his fingers under it?
And the decision.
Not out. Huge moment. Marsh was flying. A wicket then could have really pegged LSG back. Big let-off for them. Probably quite frustrating for SRH.
You bet. Those 50-50 calls can swing momentum so much.
Definitely. So around the 10-over mark, one source had LSG at 115 for 1. Markram's still there. A fantastic position to be in.
An amazing platform. But let's pull back a bit. Despite this great start, LSG had issues coming into this game, right? We touched on the NRR, but performance-wise too.
Yeah, absolutely. As good as this start was, you look at their season. Consistency was a problem. The middle order, well, apart from maybe Ayush Badoni chipping in sometimes, it hadn't really delivered consistently.
Even someone like David Miller.
Yeah, even Miller hadn't quite set the world alight in the way they'd hope, finishing innings off. That lack of reliable middle order runs was a worry.
And then the bowling?
Similar story, really. Yeah. Digvesh Rathi had his moments, but overall, bit inconsistent. Ravi Bishnoi, their main spinner, he'd been going for a few more runs than usual lately.
Right.
And the other seamers, Avash Khan, Akash Deep, they'd leach runs at bad times. didn't always provide that control or wicket-taking threat, put more pressure back on the batters.
So with those issues lingering, the focus really zooms in on the big names, doesn't it? Like Pant.
For sure.
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant. He hadn't had a huge score in a little while.
Yeah.
Reports suggested, the pressure was on him to stand up.
Yeah.
Especially with all talk around Test Vice captaincy and stuff. A big innings here would have been massive for him and the team.
And Nicholas Purin, too. He started the season so well.
Exactly. They needed him to find that early season explosiveness again. He's such a game changer when he's on song, but his form had dipped a bit leading into this match.
So, yeah, great start from the openers, but maybe some underlying nervousness about whether the rest could capitalize and if the bowlers could defend whatever they got.
Precisely. Now, flip it around. What about SRH? They're out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What's their motivation here?
Well, pride, obviously. But also opportunity, right? A chance for guys to play with a bit less pressure, maybe prove a point for next season.
Yeah, there's a chance to experiment a bit, maybe look at some players, see how they handle the situation, build for the future.
And you mentioned Abhishek Sharma earlier. This felt like a big game for him personally.
Seemed like it. He's a regular for Punjab and red ball, talented player. Reports hinted he was put out maybe about being overlooked for India.
Okay.
So a match like this against the team desperate for a win, perfect stage to say, hey, remember me. He can be absolutely destructive when he gets going.
Definitely a point to prove there. And then there's the debutant, Harsh Dubey.
Yeah, huge moment for him, coming off that incredible Ranji season. This is the big league, a chance to test himself against IPL quality batsmen.
And for SRH, a chance to see if that domestic form translates, right? Could he be a long-term spin option for them?
Exactly. These games, even if they don't impact the top four, are so important for unearthing and testing new talent. Gives these young guys vital experience.
Okay, so let's try and wrap up where things stood based on these reports. LSG, desperate situation, needing a massive win.
Got off to a flyer thanks to March's brilliant 50 and that big opening stand with Markram.
But lurking beneath were those season-long concerns about batting depth, bowling consistency, and that awful net run rate.
While SRH, playing without playoff pressure, we're looking for individual performances, giving Dubey his debut, maybe letting someone like Abhishek Sharma express himself.
So even with that great start, LSG's path to the playoffs still looked incredibly steep. That NRR meant they needed something truly special, didn't they? Not just a win, but a demolition job.
Absolutely. A huge score, and then restricting SRH massively. A very, very tough ask.
So as you think about this LSG versus SRH game, it really highlights that pressure cooker environment of the IPL, doesn't it? Individual moments, team strategies under the pump. It all counts for so much.
It really does. And it shows that even in games where one team is out of contention, you still get these fascinating subplots. Players fighting for their place, debutants trying to make a mark, guys looking to prove selectors wrong.
Always something compelling to watch. It's never just a dead rubber, is it?
Rarely ever in the IPL. The individual stakes are always high.
Well, that's about all we have time for on this deep dive. We really hope digging into those reports gave you some good insights.
Yeah, I hope you found it useful.
And if you did, and you want more analysis like this, please do make sure you subscribe to our channel. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the games and stories that matter.
See you next time.